In today's lesson, we'll be talking about the Pythagorean Theorem. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to identify the parts of a right triangle and use the Pythagorean Theorem to find the length of a missing side. There are two ways to classify triangles. One is by sides. We have the scalene, the equilateral, and the isosceles triangle. The other is by angles. We have the acute triangle, the obtuse triangle, and the right triangle. So when we use Pythagorean theorem, it's only for the right triangle. So the parts of a right triangle. The hypotenuse is the one that's opposite the right angle, and it's always the longest side. The legs are the two other sides, and it doesn't matter which one is A and which one is B, but they're always adjacent to, which means next to, the right angle. The Pythagorean theorem says that the sum, so adding the square of the legs, so that each of the sides squared, equals the hypotenuse squared. So that's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So in this one, we just want to identify the hypotenuse. So if we have three sides that are 9, 40, and 41, we know that the hypotenuse is the longest one. So it's going to be 41. In the second example, two legs are 2 and 3, and the longest side there is the square root of 13, because it's the long side of the triangle. So that is the hypotenuse. In the television or computer screen, again, we got the long side, which is across from the right angle, and that would be 19. So when we're solving for a missing side and we've got a right triangle, first of all, we identify the length of the legs. So leg JK is 3, and leg KL is 4. The hypotenuse is what we don't know, so we're just going to call that C. So the first thing we'll do is substitute our numbers, A, B, and C. And then we're going to go ahead and square each of those. So 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, and we're just going to leave the C square. Now we add them, so that's 25 equals C squared. And now we take the square root of 25. The square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of C squared is C. So my solution, that third side, is 5. Let's try another one. So the leg, MN, is 5. Leg NO is what we don't know, so we're just going to call that B. Remember, it doesn't matter if I call it A or B. And the hypotenuse is 13. So I go ahead and substitute. 5 is the A, B I don't know, and C is 13. Then I'm going to go ahead and square them. 5 squared is 25, B squared is B squared, and 13 squared is 169. Now when we're finding the leg, A or B, it's actually a subtraction problem because I'm going to isolate this B squared. In order to do that, I have to take the B squared, 169, minus 25. So I subtract. That gets me B squared equals 144. I take the square root of both sides. It's me B equals 12. So let's just look at these real quick. It's deciding which side is missing, and then does that make it an addition or subtraction problem? So in this tree that's fallen down, the longest side is the tree, so that's the hypotenuse. So that means we're missing side B, which means it's a subtraction problem. If we have the hypotenuse, it's going to be a subtraction problem. So here's the ladder, so that again is the hypotenuse, so we're missing side A. It could be side A or B. If we're missing side A or B, it's a subtraction problem. On this third one, the tree that's fallen down is our hypotenuse, and that's what we're missing. So we're missing side C, so that means it's going to be an addition problem. In this computer screen, it looks like we have the diagonal across, so we're missing one of the legs. So we're missing side B, which makes it a subtraction problem. In this baseball, we see that from home plate to first is 90 feet, and from first to second is 90. So this is the longest side, that throw from second base to home. So that means we're missing side C. It makes it an addition problem. here we have a soccer field, and we've got the diagonal going across, and we've got the length. What we're missing is this width here. So that means we're missing side A, which makes it a subtraction problem. So what is the Pythagorean theorem? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And what is a right triangle? It means we have two legs, a hypotenuse, and we have one right angle.